Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to something very different. We are going to be doing a Q&A today, a very relaxed, sit back and do your homework type video. Career mode will be back tomorrow. I just really needed a break. It's doing my head in playing FIFA every single day. Actually, I've got a question coming up about that very subject, but I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to take today to do a special one-off video. I haven't done a Q&A since 2014, something crazy like that, a good 6 years or so, back then when Q&As were something channels did all the time. So why not? I've got a wide range of questions coming in from Twitter. Make sure you follow me over there. It's @MGH. And we're going to jump into the first question. I'm sure there's going to be a lot about FIFA and a lot about football in general, but I've got some other personal questions in there as well. So hopefully you enjoy this. You might learn something more about me today. Let's crack on with the first question. So the first one is from FTBL Michael. Thank you for your question, sir. He says, what sort of level do you drum at, and would you ever do a video on it? So, fun fact about me, I am indeed a keen drummer. I've drummed since I was about 5, maybe 6 years old. My dad had a drum kit. He was always playing, he'd get home from work and play the drums, and I would sit there with him and just slowly picked it up. The question is, how do I put it onto a scale? Because I've never had lessons. I'm definitely 100% self-taught. I've just listened to music over the years and I've learned to play along. How do I explain it? So I'm sure that, like with piano and stuff like that, you have grades, don't you? Like I'm a grade 6 piano player. I'm sure there's something like that for drums, but I'm not aware of it. So let's do a scale. 0 to 10. Yeah, 0 being you're completely new to drumming, you have no idea what you're doing, and 10 being the very, very best. I'm talking Matt Garsker from Animals as Leaders. If you don't know who that is and you're into drumming, you should know who he is. I would say, oh gosh, that's really difficult. Think of it this way, okay? You could request pretty much any song and I could play along to it, except from the really insane stuff, okay? So, for example, just throwing it out there, if you wanted me to play along to Animals as Leaders, who Matt Garsker drums for, it's mind-boggling how good he is, and there's very little I can do. I can do bits of those songs, but not the whole thing. Whereas Breaking Benjamin, Kill Switch Engage, I can do that stuff. So I would say maybe a 7 out of 10. I reckon if you gave me 5 years or so of professional lessons and let me just practice it all the time, I could maybe go semi-pro. I could probably get in a decent band. Not that I look like I should be in some sort of rock band. But I would like to say I'm pretty good at the drums. I'm probably a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. Something like that. And to answer your question, would I ever upload a video on it? I have done in the past, back when I started this channel. They're gone, unfortunately, because of copyright. YouTube's a bit difficult like that, uploading music and drum covers. So who knows, maybe in the future. Maybe, I think if anything, it would be live streaming. I'm thinking if I eventually move house, I want like a stream room, and I could put my drum kit in there. And it's an electric kit, so I could plug it into the PC and stream it. That would be insane. So, yeah, to answer your question, I would say I'm about a 7 out of 10, something like that. So not quite semi-pro, but I could do well, I reckon. And maybe not videos, but maybe streams of me drumming in the future. Let's move on to the next question. That was a good one. Thank you for that. We have, why did you decide to do YouTube? Coming in from Leighton Hodkinson. Gosh, that's a long time ago. So this is back in 2009, I want to say. I created this channel on January 30th, 2010. So I've just gone past my 10-year anniversary. I was watching a lot of Call of Duty videos back in the day. There was a guy I was very keen on kind of replicating, and that was Hutch. I'm sure a lot of people remember Hutch and C-Nanas, these OGs. And there was a video I watched where he was talking about how much he enjoys just talking and explaining things in what he's doing in the game. And I just got really inspired. And I remember I was on my way to college one day. I had a little bit of money in my account, and I actually decided to buy what back then was the best of the best, the HD PVR, to then start recording Call of Duty. To cut a long story short, I eventually realised that Call of Duty wasn't really my thing. What I liked to play all the time was FIFA career mode. So by the end of 2010, start of 2011, I uploaded my first ever career mode, which I believe was Swansea in FIFA 11, maybe FIFA 12. My memory is struggling here, and never looked back. I would think I'm one of the very first people to do a career mode type series. There might have been career mode videos on YouTube, just gameplay of it, and maybe people playing one game. But to make an actual series, an actual story out of it, I think I might be the first, one of the first. So I'm an OG. I have come a long way since then. My videos may not have changed too much in those 10 years, but I have. My commentary's definitely got better and I'm more confident about it. But really, I still upload the same content and I still love doing it. There's just days like today where I need to not play FIFA. But that's why I decided to do it, because I wanted to try doing what Hutch was doing. And he said he was having so much fun with it and I wanted to give it a go. And turned out he was right. It was such a great, fun thing to do, getting home from college and just playing games and talking about games. And it took 2 or 3 years to then actually start earning a teeny bit of money when Machinima came into YouTube. And this is such a long time ago. I was earning pennies and still doing it. And of course, over the years, that has just built and built. And now I'm able, thankfully, and all thanks to you guys watching, to make money off this to live. So it was a fun hobby that's turned into, I hate calling it a job, but technically this is my job. I do other bits, but YouTube is my main source of income and sponsorships and stuff like that through YouTube. So it's pretty incredible. I owe everything to Hutch. I remember talking to him a couple of years after I started. I was blown away. I was kind of starstruck. We messaged each other on YouTube, and then I finally got to talk to him and I thanked him and I said, thank you so much for uploading your videos. You inspired me to do it myself. And I'm sure he heard it 1,000 times by then. So yeah, that's the story behind it. Up next, we have, why do you support Arsenal? This is a very similar type of question. Why did I do something in my life? Supporting Arsenal kind of just came around because of my friends at school, to be fair. I want to say it was when I was about 7, maybe 6, around the same time as when I started drumming. Drumming was definitely my first real passion just before I got into watching football, playing football. A lot of my friends would kind of gather around in the playground and swap and trade the collection, the cards things, you know, what are they called? Kick cards? Something like that. And they were all trying to collect Thierry Henry, the gold shiny one, and Bergkamp, and all of the great Arsenal players from back then. Oh, those days were so great. And they would talk about Arsenal a lot. So I kind of got interested that way. I believe it was my friend called Max. I have no idea what he's up to these days. He was an Arsenal fan, and he said he used to go and watch the games at the weekend with his dad. So I'd tag along once every now and again, and it just became a passion of mine. It wasn't Arsenal at first. It was just football in general. We always played football on the playground. And then it got to the point where we would go and play football together. And then that turned into playing for my local team. South Park was the name. I know that's crazy. You're thinking that South Park's this amazing cartoon TV show everyone loves, but actually my team was called South Park. And then that turned into watching the games after training all together, watching Champions League games. And it was just, Arsenal was the team that I chose to support because they're kind of near me. You know, it's London. It's not too far from me. Having just been surrounded by other Arsenal fans, it just happened. But funnily enough, my best friend is a Chelsea fan. He's still my best friend today. And it's funny how I didn't pick Chelsea because of him. I kind of went with the crowd, which, yeah, I guess it was a bit of a glory thing, wasn't it? Because at the time, Arsenal were doing pretty well. And then, of course, we went on to go invincible. Oh, I'm sorry, Liverpool. I'm sorry, you can't say that. And I've just supported Arsenal since. It's not so great these days, but I still love the team and I love the club. It's just a shame that football itself, not just Arsenal, is all about the money and less about the passion and just wanting to play the sport, which is what it was more so back then, 20 years ago or so. So that's the story. I guess you could say it was school friends and just playing football with those guys and talking about Arsenal and how good Thierry Henry was that weekend and stuff like that. Next question is from Thomas. He says, what is your opinion on Arteta? Another football question. I think Arteta's doing a really good job, considering the fact that he's only been here for only a few months and he's already, I don't want to say turned the team around, but we look like a different team. That says a lot. He still has a lot of work to do, and I still think he needs to try and solidify his first 11. We're still chopping and changing a lot. But in general, let's use that 0 to 10 scale again. I would say Arteta is doing a solid 7 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10 job. I think we can't really say anything or judge him until the window in the summer. I think if he's able to get 2 or 3 players in that he really wants, and he's able to sell a few players that he doesn't want, we will then see his team start to take shape. There's no doubt in my mind that there are players at the club right now that he would rather they weren't, because they don't fit his system or his style. So with what he's got at his disposal, he's done very, very well. Of course, going out to Olympiacos is shocking, but you can only do so much as a manager. The players have to perform. So I would say Arteta's doing a great job, and I'm really excited to see how he gets on in the future. But of course, we all said this when Emery joined, and you saw how that went. So you never know, but I have a feeling that Arteta will be here for a long time, which is what I want. So yeah, I'm enjoying having him at the club, and I think he's doing a great job. Up next, we have Lewis Dixon saying, who's your favourite player on the Sunderland road to glory? Well, up until season 3, if you haven't been watching, spoiler alert, now that we're in the Premier League, and I've realised poor old Nemecha can't really do the damage he was doing in the Championship and in League One. So up until season 3, it was definitely Nemecha, but now I think it's between the Scottish Messi, McKinley, or Billing right now. I love Billing because he's 6'6" and he's just a monster. He wins all the tackles. He's got such long legs. It's hilarious when you slide in. He's not the most mobile, but he's got a great pass and a great shot. So I would say probably McKinley. He's probably my favourite. But also, I'm really enjoying Mumba at the moment for some reason. He's not great, but he's just fun. He's fun to use. He's a little midget running around, and it's hilarious seeing him next to Billing. By the way, off topic a little bit. It's not the question you asked, but I want to say that this Sunderland career mode is right up there as one of my favourites of all time. I want to record the Sunderland career mode all the time. I just don't want to play the games. I don't want to play FIFA. It's a real annoyance to me that I guess the way I want to say it is it's a shame that simulating games isn't as accepted, because I get it. It's not really fair, is it? You just sim a game and you win or you lose. But I wish there was a better system in FIFA where you can almost go into manager mode and you kind of watch the game and you make changes and stuff. I think I would then never need a break like today where I just need to stop playing the game, because just playing this Sunderland Season 3, it's really exhausting at times because I'm losing all the time. It's actually quite challenging. I've got the sliders perfect. I'm actually struggling quite a lot. You'll see in tomorrow's episode, I play Man City in the EFL Cup, and it's such a tough game. So I would say that it's one of my favourite career modes, but I think FIFA 20 itself is extremely disappointing gameplay-wise, and it's sometimes a bit frustrating. But favourite player is McKinley, and this is genuinely one of my favourite career modes I've ever done. Up next, we've got a message coming in from Connor saying, love it, Matt. He's replying to me asking for questions. How is life? I'd like to hear you just give us a general update on your personals. Gosh, where do I start? Coronavirus is a bit scary, isn't it? I think a lot of it is just fear-mongering from the media and them trying to get clicks. But of course, as a type 1 diabetic, I have an existing condition that would make this worse. So of course, I'm a little bit like, don't really want to travel again this year. I don't think I want to risk going into public events like, music festivals and stuff. I'm just a bit, so I guess you could say that's giving me a little bit of anxiety. But otherwise, my health is good. I have recently done a lot of my 6-monthly diabetic tests. They've all come back good. I'm in good health right now. I could lose a little bit of weight, if I'm honest, but sitting at my desk all day, playing FIFA and other games and, not doing enough exercise doesn't help. So I guess there's that. I'm really enjoying my YouTube channel still. I'm just always happy to truck along, uploading videos every day. I think that's it. I mean, personally, like my life-wise, obviously I don't talk too much about it, but my wife Ellen's really good at the moment. We've got 2 little dogs that are very healthy, and there's no baby coming. That's certainly not coming. That's not in the near future for sure. Although I'm 27 now, I know a lot of people are kind of like, oh, I'm 27, maybe I should have a baby now, but not quite yet. And why not give you guys a bit more information? Me and Ellen have been together for almost 10 years now. We got married, oh shit, what year was it? Last year. We got married in summer last year. So yeah, we were together for 7 years, married on the 8th year. It's now almost 9 years. So that's going really well. House-wise, all good. We've settled in. We've been here for 4 years, just chipping away at the mortgage, driving a Nissan Leaf full electric car. No bike at the moment, no motorbike, so there will be no motorbike vlogs. I don't really know if there's anything else. I mean, my family are typically okay at the moment. We've had a few scares with my grandparents. One of them thought they might have cancer, came back good. What else is there? My little brother's in Australia right now. He's staying there for almost a year. Older brother's doing well with his job. Everything's fine, okay? I'm good. I just hope this coronavirus thing doesn't spiral out of control so things just shut down. Because, of course, we're all so used to things just going smoothly, right? When it comes to just general things, okay? I don't want to go into too much information, but just like I went to a shop this morning to look at some cymbals for my drum kit, and they won't get them for months because they're delayed coming from China. They've got obviously issues with coronavirus and it's affecting things. So I'm just hoping that something so little like that doesn't turn into things like getting my medicine for my diabetes or getting food from your local shop, things like that. It'd be quite scary if that started to be really affected. So stay safe, people, but don't worry too much. People are going crazy over this. You just need to, just try not to worry too much because there's a lot of clever people right now working on it, and who knows, things can happen, things can change, and it could become a seasonal thing. So you might find through spring and summer that it really dies down, and it might come back every now and again, but just stay safe and wash your damn hands. But in general, Connor, thank you for your question. I'm doing very well. I'm a solid 7 out of 10 right now. Happiness levels, I'm good. Up next, if you could take one Man City player at Arsenal, who would it be? This is coming in from KDB Jr. That is very coincidental because instantly in my head, it's De Bruyne, right? De Bruyne. You take De Bruyne. But actually, if I put on my thinking hat, what does Arsenal need the most? I would probably take Laporte. Maybe. Oh, that's really tough. Sterling on that left side would be amazing. Imagine Sterling, Aubameyang, and Pepe. I think it's those three. It's De Bruyne, Sterling, or Laporte. Those would be my three choices. And I think right at this second, Laporte would be my choice. Although we just got Pablo Mari. He looked good, but he's not Laporte level, is he? So maybe him. But then Sterling would just get us goals, assists. He would do better than, a Martinelli or Aubameyang on the left. We all know how frustrating that is. It's a good question. I think KDB is the obvious choice. He is City's best player, but I think I would take Laporte to be safe. Up next, from Darren, why don't you stream anymore? I knew this question was coming. The honest answer? Do you want the honest answer? I don't know if I enjoy it as much as I want to enjoy it. I don't know how streamers do these 10 to 12 hour long streams every single day. For me, I quite like the control I have about recording something and then being able to edit and add little bits and transitions and maybe even voiceovers and stuff and then upload the finished product. When you're live streaming, it's, live. You can't really have control over it. And that's not a problem per se. It's just a preference thing. If I was to start streaming every day, I could just do what a lot of streamers do, just clip little bits and upload them. And yeah, I'd probably earn a lot more money doing that. But I don't think I'd be as happy, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, because actually I only play FIFA when I'm recording to make videos. I play other games. I don't think I would do very well streaming Call of Duty, or what other games am I playing right now? I'm playing Red Dead 2 again. Games like this I don't think are very streamable, especially for me because I'm not very good at them, okay? I'm somewhat okay at FIFA. I reckon I could maybe go 20 and 10 in the weekend league, something like that. But why watch me when you could go and watch all these other great streamers and pro players and stuff? So I think there's two things. It's one, I'm not sure I enjoy it so much. I really enjoy the interaction, but I don't like how much you have to do. I don't like sitting and talking for 10 hours straight, okay? That's tiring. It's really not for me. And two, I'm kind of, I guess I'm kind of scared because I don't think I'd be that successful at it. I think maybe I could get an average of 500 viewers, something like that, which is obviously amazing. For a lot of people, that is mind-blowing. But as someone who's done quite well on YouTube, I want to be doing better than that, and I just don't think I'd be able to. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a bit silly, but that's just how I feel, and I'm being really honest with you guys. The money would be great. Don't get me wrong. Streamers do make a lot of money, but for me, it's not about the money. I've got to be enjoying it. And if I became a full-time streamer, I'd really miss my current schedule of just being a bit more chill with life and being able to do my other side projects and stuff like that. Good question, though. And I guess I should tell you, though, I am planning on doing some streams. Normally by summer, FIFA is dead, and I'll be streaming some Football Manager. Next question from Jake Don. Do you play any other games apart from FIFA? The answer is yes, and it changes a lot. I've got a few friends that I play games with on Discord quite a bit. Friends that don't like FIFA, for example. They all play other games. You know, I'm a big fan of PUBG, Apex, Red Dead, Call of Duty. I played a bit of No Man's Sky not so long ago. I mean, I could open up my Steam and tell you all of my installed games, but honestly, I don't actually play that many games at the moment. Most of my time is editing, which is fun. But yeah, those games I mentioned at the moment are the games I'm playing outside of FIFA. Coming in from Joseph Sweeney. At any point over the years in which you thought about just giving up career mode completely? I've enjoyed it this year, to be honest, but last year I hardly touched career mode and the game in general past December. Well, today's a good day to ask this because I'm having one of those days, which I want to say I get every 1 to 2 weeks. Just a day where I've got very little motivation to play FIFA and edit FIFA and talk over FIFA and then upload FIFA. And it's, sure, look, there's so many people that would kill to do what I'm doing, but that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to feel this way. Having done this for 10 years, 2 months, whatever it is, there are days where it's very, very difficult to motivate yourself. And let me talk about this briefly because a lot of people ask me this, my friends and family, and they're always saying, don't you get bored? You just sit at home and play games. And the real answer to that is, well, yeah, there are times where you've got to motivate yourself. You've got to remember, I don't have a boss. I don't have a schedule. I don't have someone saying you need to be in the office at 9 o'clock this morning. You've got a meeting at 11. You've got this deadline at 2. At 3, I need you to submit this. And then you're going home at 5. I have to do all of that myself. It's all up in here. If I wake up one day and I decide that I'm not in the mood to do FIFA, what is stopping me? Nothing. So to self-motivate yourself is truly very, very difficult. And I would argue it's a skill. A lot of people couldn't do the whole YouTube thing because it's so abnormal. There's nothing, there's no schedule. There is no proper 9 to 5 schedule is the right word. It's all about you. You've got to self-motivate yourself. And that is truly difficult at times. But 95 to 98% of the time, it's not a problem because I get to be at home. You know, in times like this with the coronavirus, I don't have to be worried about working in a warehouse or in an office with 30 other people that could easily spread it. And I can be at home and I can relax. And this morning I was able to go shopping with my dad and I was able to take a few hours out. It's not a big deal. You know, that's great. But this question is a very good one because people don't realize it is actually very difficult to do this every single day. There are YouTubers, and I'm sure you follow some of them, especially in the career mode scene, that took January off. I've never done that. They've realized after however many years, I think some of them maybe have done 3 years of this, they just realized they've woken up on the start of the year and just gone, oh my God, I can't do this. I need a couple of weeks off. Oh yeah, I do feel you, but I've just never done that. I've always just got on with it. So I hope I've earned some brownie points, some respect points to you guys who follow these other channels and realize that it's a long time to take off and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I completely understand. I've done this for 10 years and I just haven't felt the need to take a month off. I've taken 3 to 4 days off every now and again. And just recently with my trip to Sweden, unfortunately I got ill, so I took a few days off there. It is what it is. YouTube is different for everyone. Personally, I might find it a bit easier to motivate myself than others because I'm an introvert. I'm not the most social person, believe it or not, and I like being at home. Some people like to be out and about, so it's different for everyone. I'm not shitting on the other YouTubers. They won't mind me talking about it. It's Jared and Niran, FNG. They both took massive long breaks at the start of the year. It's totally cool. Like, go for it, man. If that's what you need to do to recharge your batteries, and they've come back stronger, it's fine. For me, just haven't needed to do that, even though in my head, I probably should. You know, I should take a break every now and again. Good question, though. When it comes to career mode, yes, it does get boring. In that case, give yourself little challenges. Take over a club that's struggling, whatever, and try and get through it that way. 2 questions left. Panther Bomb, awesome name. Do you still have that motorbike and would you do more vlogs? I've already answered that. The question is no, I don't. The answer is no. I sold my bike and I'm not really in the mood to risk coming off and injuring myself. That's the worry for me when biking. I have a personality that I think there's a tendency to get a bit of a rush from these things for me. I get very bored very quickly, and I found myself, and I don't think I've even really told Ellen this, to be fair, so I hope she's not watching this, but there were times on the bike where I'd go down these long, twisty roads and long straights, and I would absolutely hammer it, like, too quick. And at times I'm there doing it and thinking, if I come off and I have to spend a couple of months in hospital, or even worse, if I die, it kind of sucks, you know. My YouTube channel would suffer, and that's my income, you know. So that wasn't why I sold it. I sold it more because I just wasn't using it throughout the winter, and it costs money, man. It's not cheap to own a motorbike sometimes. It was a good 150 quid a month, and then you've got the insurance, all the petrol, all the gear. Just buying a good helmet is 400, 500 quid, all the leathers. And sure, uploading the videos riding was amazing. It's I still miss it. I love doing it, but riding a bike is dangerous, especially if you've got a personality where you just, at times, you just want to let loose, right? Which is fine. I get everyone gets through, they go through that stage on a bike. They might want to just, you know, pin it down a corner, but it's very dangerous. And just one mistake on your part, or even just a mistake from someone else on the road, and splat. Just be careful out there if you're a biker. Last question from Massive Brad. I actually recognize that name. Are you a YouTuber? I think you might, maybe you've linked me a video before. He says, do you think there is still room for new career mode YouTubers to make it on the platform? I think that answers my question. There's 2 answers to this. There's a long one and there's a short one. The short answer is maybe. The long answer is yes. I think it's very, very difficult. If I started uploading the videos I'm uploading now, I don't think I would get anywhere because there's so many people doing it. I'm just fortunate I was one of the first, right? So when people search up career mode, likelihood is my name will pop up along with a few others. If you're new, you have to do something special, something really unique. And even that is difficult these days because everyone's done everything. Every YouTuber has tried to put a twist on a career mode series. Everyone's tried to implement real life things. And it's great if you can come up with this great idea that no one's ever been watching before. But the likelihood of that being possible is quite low these days because there's 10 years of this stuff now. Really, I would say the only way to really make it now, if you're starting a YouTube channel tomorrow, is to bring something personal, something different about you, a different style of commentary maybe, because the game is the game. There's only so much you can do with FIFA career mode, yeah? The only other way I would think that maybe we could get a few more bigger guys in there is if they completely switch up the game mode and remaster it completely, design it from the ground up, and someone's able to come in and do something completely revolutionary, then maybe. It's difficult though. The biggest advice I would say as well is don't do this thinking you're going to earn a load of money, because even some of the big YouTubers don't earn enough to live full time doing YouTube. You have to be at a certain level where maybe it's not just the income from your channel, but you're able to do some merch potentially, which I don't really focus on. I've got shirts available. There are some in the box below the video, I believe, on Teespring, but God knows, I think maybe I've sold less than 100 of those over the years. So that's one way you can then help, doing merch and sponsorships. That's one thing that obviously I've done over the years. I've done a few sponsorships. Just make sure you only pick ones that, one, are safe, no betting and things like that. It's a real grey area for me, at least. And do football related stuff. I work with FotMob. They're a fantastic app company that I approached, and I wanted to work with them. So there's ways that you can sponsor your content with stuff that's relatively similar. I wouldn't say go out and just get any sponsorship possible, because it doesn't look good, does it? And you're probably not going to do very well because it's not related to the audience. And also maybe have a backup, because if the YouTube thing doesn't work after 6 months, you've got something to fall onto. But it's very difficult, but it is possible. But I don't know what I would do, put it that way. It's a very, very difficult nut to crack these days, YouTube. It's a tough one. But that, guys, I think that should be the end of the video. I've been recording for 31 minutes. That was a Q&A, a long Q&A. Hopefully you enjoyed it anyway, if you just chilled and listened. I might do another one. There's probably hundreds of questions. Jesus, yeah, I've got 222 tweets, which I haven't checked. So there's probably a lot of other questions that maybe I can get through in another video. But thank you for listening. Hopefully you learned something. And I will see you tomorrow for a new career mode video. And it will be the Man City quarterfinals. We've got another game against Newcastle coming up. So it's a pretty good one.